Hi, my name is Christina Tigner. I teach second grade in LaGrange, Georgia at Franklin Forest Elementary School. Something that has stuck with me since my first year teaching, and this is something I tell every teacher that I have worked with since this happened to me, and I was absolutely mortified when it happened, is that it is so important to know the bus numbers of the buses that take the students home. So my first year teaching, I was a pre-K teacher, and I had my dismissal chart, and also teachers need to make sure that the dismissal chart is correct, because the chart that I had the buses not in the correct order. Well, I had the map backwards, so to speak. So what would have been spot 1 for the first bus, I had it flip-flopped on my map to be the 9th spot. So that was a fiasco in itself. But so I had my students lined up at the end of the day, and I had this great idea that I would put stickers on them for the color of the bus that they were riding. So if bus 1501 was the yellow bus, then they had a sticker on them that had a yellow dot on it, and so forth. So I lined them up based on the color of the bus that they were riding, not the number, but the color of the sticker on their shirt. So I walked them out, and I don't know if I mentioned, these are pre-K kids. They're pre-K, so they've never been to school before, so this was completely my fault. I lined them up, walked them out to the buses. First, I realized, oh my gosh, my map is backwards. So I don't have the correct order that these buses are parked in. And so once I figure that out, and I wrangle up the 22, 4, and 5-year-olds that I have behind me, I get them back into order, to walk the bus line backwards at this point. So instead of starting in spot 1, I just took the line down to spot 9, because spot 9 was number 1 on my chart. So anyway, and then I start saying, okay, this is the blue bus. Where are all my kids that have the blue dot on their sticker? And I realized that they don't know what color they have on their sticker. I mean, some do, but majority of them don't. And I just made the assumption that they knew their colors. Again, another mistake on my behalf. So I walk up to the first bus, and I realize there are no colors on the buses, that it's just numbers. So I'm looking at a chart that's backwards. I have color dots on kids that don't know colors, and on top of it all, the buses aren't marked by any color. They just have a number on them, and I don't have the kids labeled with any numbers or anything of that nature. So it was a huge fiasco, and I had 22 kids that were just standing around. I was frustrated. I think I actually ended up crying that day, and I had the speech teacher and our behavior specialist and our assistant principal had to come over. They had to redo my whole list, get my whole line back in order. I had to go back to the classroom and pull more transportation information, just such as, student names and the actual bus number that they were riding. So it was a huge deal. Huge. And I will never forget that day. It was absolutely awful, and I felt like the entire school talked about it forever, because Miss Tigner held up first day dismissal by probably 20 minutes because of my mistake. So they also had to send a message out to parents to let them know that the buses hadn't left yet, and that they would be leaving, but that they would be about 15, 20 minutes late to get off the bus that day. Because it took that long to get my class on the correct bus. So I always tell everyone, before the first day of school, make sure you know exactly which bus is parked in which spot. I also tell them, don't worry about colors. Colors don't matter. Make sure you know the number of the bus that's going to be parked there, and that the child is marked somehow with a number, not a color again. And also, don't expect the child to know the number, because they're not going to know the number. They didn't know the color. They're not going to know the number. And to give yourself at least 15 minutes extra to what you think you will need for dismissal, to actually do dismissal. Because, again, like I said, that was the worst moment in my teaching career of 10 years. And it's never happened since then. I always say, I have the best dismissal chart now. I share it with everyone. So if anyone needs tips on how to successfully dismiss students, they come to me. And this story is still shared around the school. I think other teachers have told first-year teachers, oh, go talk to Miss Tigner about dismissal. She'll tell you about her first-year experience. So it's kind of funny now. But anyway, that's my advice.